the big thing about having heart rate monitors, wearing any of these wearables, is making sure you action on the data. And otherwise, as we this has been a running theme of this whole episode, because the main reason is because I've been the other side of it, is in I just don't action on the data a lot of the time. So even though I'm such a fan of data, I love seeing numbers, that I like to know how hard I'm working and everything from lifting, cycling to, tracking effort in general. But unless you do something with it, it's completely pointless. But also you need to understand that it's a very individual thing, because comparing your average power in a race or your heart rate variability to someone else's is utterly pointless, but can so easily be done. We mentioned earlier about Instagram and stuff like that, people posting their like scores and stuff like that. And when you see someone's heart rate variability, say like 150 and yours is 75, you're like, fuck, I must be really unfit compared to that person. But there's so many other factors that just haven't come into it. But by having these personal metrics help guide your training and your efforts to make sure you're progressing on your journey. And that's the thing. And then if you beat people along the way, then that's amazing. But, I really love this saying of don't be put off by comparing someone else's chapter 13 to your chapter 3. Or as there might be chapter 1, chapter 10, whatever. It doesn't matter what chapter you're on. Basically, the point is they're further ahead than you, so don't compare. And then, as I think the classic saying of comparison is the thief of joy by Teddy Roosevelt. So it's like, focus on your individual numbers, whether that's from a heart rate, whether that's from power, whatever. That's why I love cycling, because with cycling, it's watts per kilo. So even though I might put out 400 watts, and then someone else puts out, say, 350. If they weigh 20 kilos less than me, their watts per kilo is going to be a lot higher. I'm only at 4 watts per kilo. They're at like 5.6, say, as an example. So technically, they have a lower watts, but higher watts per kilo. So they're a lot more powerful. So, it's a very clear cut. Whereas, like, you mentioned it off air with, say, like powerlifting, a lot of it is the total number lifted. Yes, you're in weight classes a lot of the time, but still, you're still with a bunch of people that might be a bit heavier than you, a bit lighter than you, but you're within the bracket. So it's like, technically, it's like, yes, you've lifted more than that person, but your kilos per kilo. Yeah, that is. Yeah, right. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, kilos per kilo isn't a thing. That's why when you see people put up on Insta, oh, this is my 4 times body weight deadlift. It's like, it's still only like 140. So it's like, piss off. That is not the same as lifting. Like, it's just not the same. I don't care. Yeah. And but it's because I've had such an emotional attachment to my numbers. It's sometimes hard to take a step back and look at the big picture and look at the trends and focus more. I'm just looking at, oh shit, today I'm 6% and I'm supposed to not train. Fuck it, I'm going to train, and it's all pointless. And you just it's this spiral, and that's the thing, is having that being able to step back and look at the big picture.